Hello everyone, I think I'm live properly. So if you can hear me properly, then just let me know. Or if you can't see my screen, then I think it's network issue. Just let me know if you can see me. So today, our topic is actually like for step by step teaching to ASP.NET MVC. So this topic is very highly recommended and suggested topic that you are expecting from us. So here I will today actually discuss about the ASP.NET MVC, very basic things, what you want to like, how you can start, or how you can start ASP.NET Studio open in my machine. So completely new Visual Studio. So we will create a project, and this project will be ASP.NET MVC project. So this is my 2019 Visual Studio. All right, so here create new project. So after starting of Visual Studio, you have to come here and create a project first. See you now, currently you just follow me from video. Later on you can start your work. Huh? So here is two options. One is ASP.NET Web Application .NET Framework C Sharp. Another is ASP.NET Web Application .NET Framework using Visual Basic. Right. So actually we will work on a C Sharp. All right. So some moving. I think everyone can hear me properly because something is happening. Yes, someone just, yes, in YouTube it's also available, so you can see from YouTube. In YouTube link, I will provide you the YouTube link as well in the comment box. So I'm giving link first. Okay, for YouTube you can go to youtube.com/abc tutorial. The link already I think you can see in the screen. youtube.com/abc tutorial. So here I will take the C Sharp. Then if I go, I'm just writing a name of the project. First project. Here my so save it in desktop. Here the .NET framework. You can select your expected framework version. So I'm just creating. I'm selecting MVC project. I'm doing MVC, so I'm selecting MVC project. So if you want web API as well inside the project, so you can select it, but for now I will never select web API. Just create. think voice is having happening problem, so just let me check in my side actually where problem is happened. Just let me know if still the voice is breaking.
Sell online.
uh, I don't know it is going live properly or not. So sorry for previous one, actually this was happening network issue. So I think you can see my screen now. So here I also provided the YouTube link. So you can look on the YouTube link as well. So here I already opened the project. So this is our project, first project. So here is the solution explorer. Actually, I have only one project. So in MVC framework, uh, uh, you understand MVC mean model view controller. Here is model, and here is view, and here is the controller. So these three MVC layer, main layer. So model view controller. So first in this model we will define the model, and we will define the controller, and we will make the layout, view of the any specific page or anything. So here, if we run the project first, from here we can run the project. I think you can see my screen. So yeah, now project will run, and we will see the first look of the project. So for anyone, if you want to start the ASP.NET MVC, if you have Visual Studio installed in your machine, automatically you can create. You can create any project, and you can just run the project. Then you can see at least the view how it's looking. So it's taking time to load. So project is loaded. I think you can see my screen because of the restrictions I'm giving you the screen. So this is our output. You can see now our project is loaded. So this is the first look of project. Here we have home, about, contact. That's that much of things we have. So like we want to see our hello world in the project, right? So if I go, so if I go there and view in index page. Okay, before giving you the view, I think now you can see my full screen. Huh? All right. So if I want to see here my hello world, so first I will go there. I will go to index. Like here, if I want to see the hello world, see here, this is hello world. It's showing. Huh? So that means my change has been worked properly here. So our in this video actually first our topic was like how we can start a project. First one is covered. Second one is navigation. So actually for navigation I already shown you how you can create the project. So here we have a solution explorer in solution. So inside a solution we can have more than one project, right? So here the inside the solution explorer we have a one project. So if you work later in a big project, then you will see a lot of project inside a solution. So in the file you can see here like other file option. We can save the project, we can open the project, and this kind of things we have in the file. In edit you can edit something from here and you can undo. In a view we have like, if the solution explorer disappear, then we can find the solution explorer from here. Alright, so we can find the server explorer, team explorer. So this kind of things we have here, and we have terminal as well here in newly added here in this Visual Studio. So this is from view. This all will not be required to work in the project. I think something if you require in your working purpose, then you can use. In the project we have project scopes things, and in the build this is very important, because every time when we will work in the project, this build solution, rebuild, clean, this kind of three things we will be needed frequently, yeah? And recent projects will be shown here, and this published project is for when you will publish this project in IIS, that time it will be required. So this is actually required navigations. So here now if we want to actually implement the first things, like we want to create a database and we want to connect this with the database, right? So in that case we have to create a database first. So if I open the SQL server, so in database first we will create a database. Here I will name the database name called like first project. So here I'm giving a database name. This is first project database. So if I want to create a table here, so we have to just navigate it and right button click, and then we will create a table first, like ID, it will be integer, and the name will be worker. Okay, this two field, and if I want to add more field like address and worker, so I will make it primary key and I will make it auto incremented. Auto incremented mean it will be auto increment. We will no longer to be required it to enter from the screen. So if I double click on the is identity, it will be yes, and here one it will increment by 1. So if I want to save, just Ctrl S. So I'm giving table name like customer. So it's saving, so it's saved. So customer already saved. So just give me just 1 minute. So database, table has been created. So from Visual Studio project, so here we have a model folder. So I right click on the model folder and I will select new item. And click data. From data, edu.net entity data model. So if I add, an EF designer from database, where I will create a new connection. Here I will provide my server name. So server name will be, just click here and here click, and then I will provide my server name here. If you go down and just click on the database, see here first project database, all the database will be shown here. So I select my desired database from here. If I click, see here a connection string auto generating. So I will go ahead. So it's suggesting me which entity framework I can use. So I'm selecting entity framework 6. So if I click here, alright, so here my table is showing and my database also showing here. Table showing here. inside my database. So because already I selected the first project database, the name of database is first project. So here I'm just going ahead. So I'm waiting for Visual Studio response. So my Visual Studio is going slow, that's why it's taking time, but in your case I think it will not taking more time, I think. Alright, so it's almost done. So it's mainly it's taking time. First one is for the Visual Studio. I mean, in my side, I think Visual Studio is so slow. And second one is for because when you were just creating model EDMX, that time everything is just adding every reference that it's actually required from the entity framework. So all the reference already has been linked here. So you don't need to add manually if you follow the ADMX case. But if you work in the code first, so code first mean you don't have to create any ADMX. So this will be manually connecting with the database. So I'm just waiting still for the response. So here is actually database connected, done. So after connection, just go inside the model context.tt, then you will see the name of our in context. The name of our context is first project entities. So inside this you can see our table name, right? And from here you can see another thing in web.config. From web.config you can check actually what is the connection string for our project. See here, this is the connection string. So connection string mean when you will connect any project with the database, this will require at least a connection string which will actually refer to a database table. So here if we see, this is the name of connection string, and inside this metadata actually coming for, because we actually use EDMX. So this is a metadata, so it is not required to look on it. So you'll see here our data source mean our server name, right? So in that case I actually use my local server, this one. So that's why actually it's here it's showing like this. And initial catalog mean our database name. So database name mean first project, and all other things are actually just a configuration, you can see. So it's done. So now we will use this database. Using this database we will actually insert data or get data, right? So first I will write method. So for showing any data in your page, first you have to write anything or inside the controller, right? So inside the controller you can write anything like any method. So here you can write a method. So I will remove all the method here. Thus I will keep the index one. So I will write public action result. Here I will write link, I mean list. So here this is a method or action inside a controller. So I'm writing under home controller. So under inside the controller folder you will get a home controller, or even you can create a new controller here if you want, but I'm using the existing controller called home controller. So you can create any controller from here, like if I want to create a controller, so I'm just writing the name like customer. This is a customer controller. So controller has created, but if you just notice, when I created customer controller, that time also inside the view this folder has been created. So it's actually, when you will create a controller, for every controller there will have at least a view folder. Inside view folder, when you will write any method, you can just create a view for this respective method, right? So if I want to just, instead of this home, I will use customer controller, right? So this is the index. So here I will just, this is an index page, right? So in index, like this is I will use as a list, right? So in customer controller, and under view there is a folder, but there is no view like this. So for this I will create a view, add view. Just right button, click on the right button on top of view and add view. So here I will use MVC view. So here there is a trick, like I'm just, what I said before starting the video, like here I will actually show you the Razor view and Razor engine things, right? So what's the Razor engine? Razor engine mean actually you can, like HTML page, I will write code in .NET method, right? Using .NET methods and function, I will write HTML. This is actually show in top, I mean in front end as HTML, right? So here I will not cover any JavaScript or anything. Later video I will cover the JavaScript, but here I will just cover Razor engine. So how Razor engine is work, you can just understand when you will follow this video. So here template index. So this is the name of our method in background if you see. So in template I will select list, then it will create automatically a list. All right, so in model class I can select customer model, or I can keep it blank, but I will select customer because I know which list I will show. Like in view I will show a list which is actually um, which will carry out actually the customer list, right? So just clicking on the customer, and from here this is actually first entity context, so saying me the data context class. So you know the data context class name is first project entities inside the model 1 ADMX, right? So if I click add, so it's giving an error when I'm clicking the first project entities. So see here it's working. So actually if you look on the top here, model I enumerable first project model dot customer, right? So actually the customer will be here as a I enumerable or list type, right? So if you understand, if you want to understand more about the I enumerable or I queryable, so you can search on the Google actually how it's work. It's work as a list. Initially you can understand as a list. Later on when you will see the more things, then you can understand actually the difference between the I queryable and I enumerable and I list. So here this is the title mean in every page actually we look at the title. Like if you see here there is a basic root, if you see here tech code, this kind of title actually showing here. So and this is a button, see here this we called actually a Razor engine. So in Razor engine actually this is a button, but actually how we writing button, like this is a proper way to writing a button, right? Right, submit. But here in Razor engine we make button using this command, right? HTML dot action link. So this is actually action link. So if we write this in the HTML, we write like this way, but here it's showing this way. So that's why we call this is a Razor engine, but Razor view engine. So it's like a an HTML. All right. So everything is done here. So see here, automatically table has been created. So you don't have to do anything more. You will select list type. I mean, I selected list type view. That's why actually it's created here automatically list type. I mean table type, right? So if you check in customer, see here a view has been created called index. Why actually we are checking these things? So in table there is a tier. I mean this is actually a table a row, and this is table header. Header mean actually the header of the table. So here I mean here will show the model dot name. Model dot name mean in the customer, if you see in customer class there is a name and address and ID, right? So here the name will show and the address will show in the list, and here also item name and address, and automatically it's creating a 3 button. Generally when we work on the list, what we do actually we do edit or detail, we see detail, or even we can delete this row. That's actually it's having 3 row, I mean 3 button automatically. So if I just run the project, let's see what actually happening here. So here it's giving an error. So why this error is happening here? Because of actually we just getting the list from customer, but through this view we never post any view, right? So how we can fix it? Just stop the project, and here we can first So I will just copy this context name here, and I will just so here it's giving error because I never use the reference. So use the reference here. So see here, it's I added the first project entities, and I will return the data. Which data? Customer as a list. So now it will show in the list. All right. So if I again load, see here. This is the list view that we actually created. Customer index page, right? And you can see the index, and here the name and address, but there is no data showing, right? See, if I go to database and if I just entered some data like Mr. Aziz and address like Dhaka. Right, so very low page. So see here, data is now loaded. So very simply data has been loaded in our page. So we never write that much of code, right? We just write some one line code, just this code, this one line code. We just write here, and we write the we redirect the view, data to view. So this view actually returning data, that's why we can link up this data to the model inside the view, and it's showing here. So if you try to understand the basic of this, like how actually MVC work now, like MVC model. So you understand, we actually first added the model, right? So that means in the concept of MVC, a model, then views, then what we do actually, we insert the controller, we made a view inside a controller. So then from controller actually using controller, we picking data to the view, right? So that's the way actually how we can see, and we can just understand the view structure of MVC. So here we can see the list. Now if we want to create a new item, all right, for this, how we can do this, like we want to create a data from here, or we want to insert a data from here or any other page, right? So for this we have to create a page. So here we will create a page called we create, the name will be create. All right, so this is create. So like index, I will click on the right button on top of the view, and I will add a view, and here MVC view, and here create. This will be default name as the same of the method. So here the template will be create template. Previously it was list template, that's why actually we seen the list, but now it will be create template. Create template actually the insert template, and I will use the model class as a customer class, right? So that means automatically for this customer class the view will be created, right? So if I click add, see here automatically create view has been created. So this is actually created using Razor View Engine. So in Razor View Engine, this HTML begin form main actually in HTML form you know we have a form, right? In HTML we have a form, and this form mean actually this one in Razor. This form equivalent to this form. So HTML.begin form. So, and this HTML angry forget token, actually this is a validation. We can directly validate the field from the Razor View engine. So I will show you later in a video, but not now. This is actually the core basic video. So, so here this is the title and validation summary. Here actually the showing the validation summary mean validation message. All right. So here HTML level, for level mean for every for every field we have a level. What we write in the HTML like this way, like this name. So this is a level. So this level equivalent to this HTML level. Alright, so here inside a div, so actually this is a group. This is total concept from the bootstrap. So I will tell you about bootstrap in the next video, but not now. So just you try to understand about the basic, like, so this is level, and the editor for, so editor for mean actually the field for inputting data, right? So this is validation message. This validation message is for specific, like if this field is where is the model, inside the model in customer, if this field is like, if we write a attribute called this is this should be string, this should not be any numeric number or anything. So we can make attribute here and restrict it. So in that case, when we will put any number or anything, then the validation message will show here for this specific uh, field. So there's the way. And finally here is the submit button. It's called um, create. So if I just run the project now, let's see what happened. Alright, so see here the create page has been created. So now if we want to create anything, then we can just put here and we can create. So like what I actually told you, this is actually a level, what we call here this level for actually see here the name, the field name will show here. So field name is name and the field name is address, and this input box mean this editor, this is actually its input box and this editor actually input box. So that's all. So page is ready. Now it's time to insert data from here. So we can write anything here, and we can just create, right? But for creating any any data, for inserting any data, we have to at least create a method or action inside the controller. So I will create a method inside a controller called public action result, and method name will be same as like this page. And here I will put customer, this customer. Alright, so now I will define the view. Now db.customers dot add so here what I actually doing, like as a parameter all the customer data will come here, in the method. So from when we will click on the create button, this all data, this name and this address will enter through, when we click here this will be entered, and we use begin from, that means the method which have the same name create, this will insert data there. So here we have created a parameter called customer type parameter, and here the db entities always we define, always we just create an object for db entities. And here db.customers, customers mean actually inside the entities. If you see here for customer table or class, it's created a customers named object. Alright, so here actually in customers we added our added customer. So here I will write save change. So save change mean actually after save changing it will execute in the database, right? So now after entering data or inserting data, it will redirect to where? It will redirect to, like I'm just redirecting to any other specific method like this index method, right? So after inserting data to this method, it will be redirecting us to the index method. This index method, this means this one, huh? So if I run the project, it's running, so time. Alright, so I think it's loaded. So if I navigate to customer, create, is it customer create or so if I click create, then what is it actually saying? Like for this there is an error. So what type of error it's saying? So this is another experience, like when you will face this type of error, how you will solve this error. This is create control type customer can be repeated following action method. So there is two method called create thing in same name, right? So that's why it's giving us the error. So when you will get an error, you have to just first read the error what actually it's saying. So now here it's giving error because we never give any http post. So now it's loaded. So if I navigate to customer slash create, so if I provide a name like Mr. Asif and press like Tito, right? If I click on the create, it should create the customer and then it should redirect to the index page. See here, Mr. Asif already has been created CTG. So if I want to create another, click on the create. So how actually it's coming? So in create new, in customer index page, here in the customer index page, here we put a link, a call to action link. The name of action link create new, but the method, I mean it will navigate to the create. Alright. Create means this is actually inside the, inside the customer controller, if it will find a customer, create method name, right? It will find a method name called create inside the customer. Because of this, this is also, this index also exists inside the customer controller. So you can ask me why the how this understand actually it is customer controller or home controller. So it is actually the customer controller because it's this index also inside the customer controller. Alright, but if you want to call any other controller action method, then you have to mention it here. See here, we have a first one is link text. So link text means this one, action name, action means this one. And if we see another, we will see here the last one. If you want to navigate from different controller, so you can even put the different controller name. Like if we put the home name home, then it will navigate to the home, right? So now what, my back button is not working. Alright, so data creation already done, but now our next work is to just update. So first now I will look again actually is it created or not. So yes, I'm waiting for loading the page. See here, I created last one, Mr. Asif. If I click on this create button, so Mr. like method means maybe right. So just click on the create. It's created, Mr. Ahmed. So here you can see everything is fine, but like always we want to just put this last one to first. Okay, so last enter data will show first. So in that case we can go in the list index and we can write order by order descendant on which descendant on id. So based on id descendant it will show in the page. See here, last one is showing first. So that's all about create. Now we will go to update, right? So update name will be like edit. Sorry, here I will create another method called edit. Method name will be edit, and I'm just selecting this, and everything will be same, just it will be edit. And here I will select customers, just add. Everything is done. So here also I will put a method called edit again, and here I will put http first. So also I want to redirect after editing index page. So this I will write here again. Data db. So first here when we will just post for edit, here a object will come, right? Object will pass as a parameter, and write customer dot where, and here just writing link query id equal to customer dot id. Here single or default. Single or default because always it will return one specific data, because we are matching it in the id. id is the primary key and it will not be duplicated, right? So in data dot name will be customer dot name. So actually we get previous data using this id in the data variable, right? So here we are telling for data inside the data name will be customer.name, because it was previously maybe different, but currently the new name is coming through the customer parameter. Alright, so here also I'm just telling address equal customer.address. Here then we will just save change. So after just putting data to the here, we will just make the save change. Alright, so if I just load the page, Right, so we'll go to the index page first. Customer index. Here, like Mr. Ajiz's name I will change, right? So if I click on the edit,